These past 2 years of nursing school has been hard, and I've only got a few weeks left until I'm done in January of 2021. The fact that we switched to online classes 9 months ago has been mentally and physically exhausting. I'm not surrounded by my peers, professors, and instructors. I have lost my daily routines of waking up at 6 a.m., getting ready for school, and driving to campus. I've been having a harder time trying to find the motivation when I'm stuck inside four walls 24/7. The only time I leave is to go out and get food, go to the post office, or take Louie out to the dog park. I wanted to make this video because I want to share 5 things that I wish I knew early into my nursing school journey. There's going to be a lot of talking, and I just wanted to mentally prepare you guys for it, so let's just get into it. The first tip that I wanted to share is that feeling unmotivated and burned out is normal, to a certain extent. What I mean by this is that I found myself sleeping so much because I'd feel overwhelmed, lay in bed, and have an existential crisis asking myself, what am I doing today? I don't know what to do today. And I'd study for 20 minutes, get on my phone, watch YouTube videos, or go to sleep, and it would make me feel so frustrated because it made me feel like I was a bad student not studying. There's going to be days where you don't want to study and do anything, and it's okay to feel like this. It's okay to feel unmotivated and burned out, but as long as you don't find yourself waiting until the last minute studying for your classes or not studying at all. If you find yourself like this, then it's time for tip number 2. Take a break and get out of the environment that you're in. So, you guys have just been seeing me staying at home basically doing nothing, and then that's basically considered taking time for yourself. But what I mean by this is get out of the environment that you're in and go out and get some fresh air. Go to the beach, social distance, make sure you're wearing your mask, make sure that you're washing your hands, but don't forget that you still can have a life, not just because there's a pandemic. Go for a jog, go get a workout in, go get some food and eat at a park. I found that doing things and getting up out of the house makes me feel a little better and a little more motivated to study. So, for tip number 3, what I wanted to tell you guys and let you guys know is that know that you are not alone. Know that what you're feeling and going through is not something that you're only going through. If you're watching this video, then you're feeling the same way. I've felt the same way too. And for so long, I felt like I was the only person that's felt motivated. All the videos that you guys see of me studying all the time, that's when I'm mostly recording, and that's not 24/7. And majority of the time, I'm just frustrated and feeling unmotivated, and the things that you guys see are just things that makes me look like I'm motivated all the time, but that's not true. So don't feel like you have to be motivated 24/7, to feel like you always have to be studying 24/7, and to always be motivated to study, because there's just days where you're not going to feel like you're going to study, and there's just days where you just have to push through those feelings and get through it and get stuff done. And know that if you are feeling any feelings of anxiousness or having anxiety, feeling depressed, or having any of those problems, you should go ahead and reach out. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your peers. When you tell your friends or people from school that you're like, oh my God, I don't want to study, then they're gonna be like, I don't want to study too. But study together, work together, work as a group. Reach out to your professors, reach out to your counselors, reach out to your family and talk to them and let them know if you're feeling any certain way, and just to talk it out, because talking it out helps you feel so much better. And probably watching this video will probably help you feel a little bit better if you're ever feeling that way. So just know that if you're ever in that way, go ahead and reach out to someone, because you're not alone. And so tip number 4 is take on the role as a nurse during clinicals. A lot of students shadow nurses and watch from afar, so don't be that student. When your nurse is giving report, stand there and take report. Don't just stand there and listen, write it all down. Know your patients inside and out. Don't just do the bare minimum and get information that you need to present to your professor. When it comes to being a student, it's best that if you act as a nurse, because a lot of times students just basically do the bare minimum and get information that they need to just present to their professor. And so what you want to do as a student is that you want to look up on your patients, you want to look at their labs, you want to look at their orders, you want to see the doctor's notes, you want to see consult notes, you want to see imaging, you want to see the x-ray that the patient have, and you want to look at the lab results and see, what is going on with the patient. Is there anything that you need to know about? What is the critical information that you need to know to take care of these patients? Don't just fill out the paperwork that your school gives you, that your professor wants you to finish, and just do the assignment that you're there for that day. No, don't do that, because the thing is, when it comes to nursing school, what a lot of students don't get is that nursing school isn't preparing you to be the nurse. Like when you're taking your lectures and your exams, that is actually preparing for you on taking the NCLEX and passing the NCLEX. What's actually going to prepare you for nursing and to become a nurse is actually being on the floor as a nursing student. And a lot of the times, people just watch back in the back and they don't really actually take on the role as a nurse. Step in, take on as much experience as you can. Don't focus on skills. Don't focus on doing as many IVs as you can or doing Foley catheters, because those are basically just tasks that you can do as a nurse, and those are easy to learn. What's hard to learn is how to actually be a nurse. What's hard to learn is how to actually develop a plan of care for your patient and what you can do to improve your patient's health. Because honestly, you're going to be responsible for your patient's life. That's going to be you. You're going to be responsible for that. And as students, we're always just shadowed. We're in the back just saying like, oh, we're not fully responsible for the patient, but act like you're going to be responsible for the patient, because that's what's going to happen when you graduate. And that's something that a lot of students don't really take on when they become a nursing student or are on the floor, is that they don't decide to do everything that the nurse does. They just do the tasks that nurses do, like hanging IVs, putting on IV lines. But what you have to learn is knowing how to delegate, knowing how to prioritize, knowing your patients inside and out. And it's so hard to be able to know your patients inside and out, especially if you need to know like 4 to 5 patients. So remember to act and take on the role as a nurse while you're in your clinicals, because that is something that I wish I did from the start, and that's something that I really, really took serious when I was in clinicals.
Now on to tip number 5. Create relationships with your professors, because they're your mentors.
As a nursing student, we feel so intimidated by our professors, but honestly, they became an educator because they want to help other people and other students become great nurses. They have so much knowledge that they can give you, and sometimes they may seem a little bit scary, but honestly, professors who are scary are actually the best professors, because they expect a lot from you, and you learn so much from those types of professors. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask dumb questions. There's never a wrong answer. They're going to be there to help you, and it's better to make a mistake as a student nurse than it is to make a mistake as a graduated or new RN. It's also important to create relationships with your professors, because you're going to be using them as a reference when you apply for jobs and when you graduate, or when you apply for jobs as a nursing student.
So those are the 5 tips that I wish I knew during nursing school, and I hope you guys find that helpful when you are early into your nursing journey or when you're almost done with your nursing journey. If you guys like these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and comment down below if there's anything that you guys would like to see. Thank you.